Hey, welcome back to another episode of Radio 22's Talk 22 show, hosted by me, your boy Mr. Jizzle. We back yet again, bringing you conversations that you want to talk about, bring you nothing but the real in our conversation as usual. And here we are, man. I'm still celebrating, y'all. Bucks in six, Bucks in six, man. I'm still out here celebrating. It's so live, man. Milwaukee was so lit this past week. I can't even call it, but you know, usually in this conversation that we have toward the end of the year, it's always that what we got to do for next year conversation, who we got to try to recruit, how we gonna get this done, man. Giannis and them boys, he re-signed like he told us he was gonna do. He said, "I'm in it to win it," and he did it. So salute to that man. Salute to Giannis, big time. But yeah, I'm here with my heavy hitters like I am every other time, and we bring you that conversations that you want to hear, bring you nothing but the real. And today I have with my heavy hitters out of the Madison area, the homie Rob D's. Shout out to people.
Bucks in six.
We appreciate you, Rob, joining the program. Also on the line out of the Utah area, we got the homie Gavin. Gavin, can you say hello to the people?
What's up? I actually just moved back to Madison from Utah 2 months ago. So
he's back in Madison.
I'm back, and it's been a fucking great couple months.
Okay, you came just in time. Bucks in six. Okay. And then last but not least, out of the Madison area as well, we got the homie Bang. Bang is on the line. Can you say what's up to the people?
What's going on? You already know. What's real is real. Bucks in six. Definitely. give them their prop.
Yeah, all day. Man, I can't even believe I'm still at all, but we're going to try to get through this episode today. So we appreciate your comments as well. For all of you at home, please, let us know what's up. Okay, so we're just going to get right into it. I'm going to start with you, Bang. I need to know, was this Buck season a fluke or is it destiny?
If I got to choose between the two,
yeah,
then I'm going to say destiny.
And
I know people going to hate on the Bucks. They're going to say that there were injuries and all that, but it doesn't matter. Winning a championship is still hard. What was it? Was it a fluke when the Spurs won, and was that 98 when they had the short season?
Right.
You still got to win. You still got to beat the best team in the other conference. So it's definitely not a fluke. It's not a fluke beating CP3. They played a great series. The Bucks did. They played a damn great series. Giannis hyperextended his knee.
Sure did.
Man came right back like it was nothing. You know what I'm saying? He just woke up great. You know what I'm saying? Like, he played through that injury. He wasn't 100% the first couple games he came back, but he played through it. They earned that. They earned it. You can't take that away from them. And another thing I'm gonna say, for anybody that feel like it was a fluke that the Bucks won, I mean, would it have been destiny if the Suns won? What's the difference?
Good question. Good question. All right, so Gavin, I'm gonna throw it back to you. Like Bang just kind of mentioned, a lot of people look at it and they say, there was injuries this year. The season started in December, where it normally starts in October. That they can say whatever they want to say about it. If it wasn't for Kevin Durant stepping on the line, the Bucks would have been out of there. There's a lot of people say a lot of different things when it comes to the Bucks season. Do you believe that this was a season of destiny, or is it just some fluke?
I'm with Bang. If you made me pick between the two words, I'm picking destiny over fluke. But I'm gonna give you a third word.
Okay.
I think that this season was manifested by Giannis and Middleton. Those two guys believed, and they were the ones that made it happen. They manifested this season. Whatever all the other things, stepping on the line, losing 2 to the Nets, losing 2 to the Suns. Giannis and Middleton, they were the ones that manifested this season and made it happen. So,
Okay, I like that.
I'm throwing a third word in.
Manifested their destiny, I guess you could
Yes.
say. All right. Rob, not to beat a dead horse, but we're gonna ask the same question. And I just need to know from your perspective, because we look at this season, this playoff season in particular, they had to face in the first round the team that put them out last year in the Miami Heat, followed by what everybody called the Monstars of the Nets, and then they had to take out the hottest player in the playoffs at the time with Atlanta and their point guard before they finally meet the Suns. Do you feel like this was the season of destiny, or was this just some fluke that we never going to see happen ever again?
Since Gav kind of came with another word, I'm gonna throw something else out there.
Okay.
I'm gonna call it RTP, and what that means is the real trust the process. Because if you think about it, Middleton and Giannis been together 8 years. And I've been on this show before and have said that it was one thing that kept the Bucks from the championship, and that was that they were soft. I've said that before, but going out and getting Drew, getting PJ, getting Bobby, that gave us that toughness to add to the process, the maturing process of both Giannis and Chris. And really, it's really super dope because to see Giannis's leadership evolve in that process to where he I just ain't gotta be that dude. I'm that dude, but I want other people to be them dudes too. So I say it's more like the real trust the process. No diss to Joel Embiid.
That's a burn. That's a burn.
But it's real talk. Because you got to think, Giannis been around just as long, and it's been a process. So that's what I think.
Okay, respect to that. And I respect to our viewer also, Mr. Cheddar State, who left his comments as well. He believes that his destiny is disrespectful. That's all work. Defensive holidays. He believes in Mr. Holiday, and he took it. Manifest too much Netflix, son.
I haven't seen that show. So.
I haven't seen that either, but I appreciate the comment there from Mr. Cheddar State. Shout out, Mr. Cheddar State, friend of the show. All right, so go to the next question. I want to go right back to you, Rob. I want to ask, okay, so much was said about, the coach through the whole process, Coach Bud. A lot of people felt like, he may not be the man for the job to get us there. He was making some mistakes that you feel like a coach of his caliber shouldn't be making early in the process, if we call it the process at this point. So I want to know from you, is Coach Bud certified at this point?
Because they won it, he is now certified. Whether you like his decisions or not, they won the championship. And with that being said, sometimes coaching really is being smart enough to step aside and let your ballers ball. And I think in the way you've seen the shift, from I'd say mid-season when they was relying heavily on threes and like cats like Brent Forbes was getting off and all that stuff, to them really starting to bang and go down low and go inside and let them cats ball. So I think that makes him certified. And at least being a Wisconsin sports fan, winning a championship puts you forever in good standing no matter what. So I know that's a bitter pill to swallow, but it's going to be hard to really get rid of that dude now that he's won it all. And me personally, I rock with Bud because he's from that San Antonio cloth. You know what I'm saying? And Popovich didn't really, he had a nice little run with it. So, give Bud some room. That's what I say.
Okay. Gavin, I want to ask you the same question. Like he said, being from the Popovich cloth, do you feel like Coach Bud is certified at this point with the Bucks, or do you feel like maybe there's room for improvement with his position?
I know there's a lot of people on the fire Bud train out there, right? But I'm with Rob. Like, once you win it as an NBA coach, you're on it for a little bit, and there's still some things that I would like to see Bud do differently. I think he's really weak with in-game adjustments, but I think he proved the last couple series that from game to game, he's got some huge adjustments, and he that's where he shines, is from game to game.
Mhm.
If we see him make those halftime adjustments in the next couple seasons, he's got that Popovich level coaching in him for sure. So I'm with Rob there. You win it, and you're certified until you tell us otherwise. So
Okay. I mean, I feel like even Coach Pop, we need to see more in these U.S. Olympics here. I don't know what they just lost the first round game to the France. I don't know what's going on there, but
Drew rocked it though.
he did.
Drew went hard.
Drew went hard.
Okay, so I want to ask Bang. I want to ask you a similar question. Though. I want to say, what we looked at the Suns coach though. I really want to give him credit there because even in a time of loss, we saw he really stood up. He gave props to the Bucks through the whole process. Even though his team lost, I felt like he was almost the better coach in the situation. Would you maybe agree, or what was your thoughts on the two coaching styles between Coach Bud and the Suns coach?
It's kind of hard. It's kind of hard for me to say that Bud wasn't the better coach because the Bucks won. I mean, they both made adjustments.
4 in a row.
I give Bud credit. He did make adjustments after the first 2 losses because it was looking ugly. CP3 was tearing their ass up.
Yeah.
And he made some good adjustments. Put Drew Holiday on full court. He made other adjustments as well on the pick and roll. So I think he did a good job, and I will say he did the better job because he won. And as far as being certified, I feel like you gotta see what he do next season. You won one.
Okay.
I think that was great. You won one, but that don't make you certified. If you want to be certified, we gotta see what you do next season and the season after that, because there's only one. There's only one. So you still got to prove yourself.
Okay, fair enough. So it's still out there. A shout out to our listener Andrew Frazier. Said I agree. He made some good decisions to find a win to win the championship. So you got to give him credit there. But will Milwaukee Bucks make it to another finals? That is still the question that we want to ask. So Dash DUB says temporary certification. Okay, you rock with that.
Yeah, that's a better way.
And Val says fire Bud like Snoop in the 90s. Oh wow.
Man, you can't fire a coach right after a championship, man. Is you crazy?
Hey man, but Toronto got rid of Dwayne Casey. Like he led him to the conference finals.
Was it crazy?
Yeah,
I think
this is crazy. Oh,
you do
who's gonna
look
fire
crazy.
a coach after a championship? Like, no.
You would look crazy to do that.
No,
this just ain't the move to make.
No.
Okay. So, all right, Gavin, I want to go to you with the next question. Next question is, there was so much talk about the players as well throughout the whole playoff series, and some got to start talking about some of my favorite things, and that's comic book characters. And they said if it was for the Bucks, they believe the Batman on the Bucks would be Chris Middleton and not Giannis, is what some say. So my question to you, Gavin, is Chris Middleton the Bucks' true Batman?
The true Batman. That's tough. That's a tough question. Giannis is the Batman.
Okay.
I wouldn't call Middleton Robin, but I'd call him Batman too.
All right. I mean, Robin's still a superhero.
Yeah, let's talk about 23 third quarter points in Game 6 against the Nets to close out the series when Giannis was hurt. 23 points in a quarter, huge. Dude had 5 times during the playoffs that he scored over 30 points, and he had another 5 times that he was over 25. So 10 times he was 25 or more, and at least one, maybe more of those was 40 points. Man, like if that's not someone that you're putting as your 1 or your 1A on any team in the NBA, I don't know who is. I don't think he's the Batman, but I'm going to call him Batman 2.
Okay. See, Rob, it feels like you want in on this conversation, so I want to know from you. It is Middleton. Where in late game situation, a lot of times they like to go to him. And not Giannis. Maybe for the free throw situation or whatnot. We did see Giannis airball a few free throws, but we want to know from you: is Middleton the true Batman?
Okay, I want to open up. I would just because that picture.
No,
the meme was in there.
Made that. No,
yo, even Perk as the Penguin is just crazy. Okay, man, let me open up with this disclaimer. First of all, I'm a Marvel fan.
Okay,
so it's hard for me to have this conversation, but I'm going to answer your question honestly. Yes, okay. Chris Middleton is the Bucks' true Batman. Why am I saying that? Because Giannis is Superman. It's a totally different comparison.
Mm-hmm.
Like the way Giannis came back from injury and kind of willed us through it. Like Batman kind of Superman is that dude that's out in the front and he's the leader of the Justice League.
Okay.
But Batman is a dude with all the utility things that you need to get you through that process. So therefore, I would say that Chris Middleton is the Batman, only if you're gonna say that Giannis is the Superman. I mean, so. That's what I would say, and like that makes Bobby Portis like Aquaman or something like that. So
Bobby. Okay,
I'm just saying.
That's funny.
All right, yep. And Bang, we're gonna ask you that same question. We need to know from you. Who we talking about superheroes here? Who's the Batman on the squad?
Well, you know what? Rob D's put it the best. Man, don't be putting that. Rob D's put it the best. I think that was great. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. If Middleton is Batman, then Giannis is Superman. But if we just saying if all we got to choose from is Batman and Robin, and if Middleton is Batman, then Giannis is Robin, or vice versa. Then for that question, I gotta say hell no. I'm gonna say there is no Batman because Rob. Who the hell is Rob? Who is Robin? Well, he was a tag along. He was a kid. You know what I'm saying? Like what did he do? Who did he really beat up? He ain't in none of the mainstream movies. You know what I'm saying? Like he's a cartoon character. He ain't even real.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So. No, if in that situation, no, there is no Batman, there is no Robin to that team. I mean, what about the Shaq and Kobe? It's the same thing. Like, who team was that? You need both players. You know what I'm saying? So what? All right, go ahead with what you got to say, Rob. Just go ahead, jump in.
Only because I got one more comic book analogy, and I feel like that means that Drew Holiday is Cyborg. Because the way he came at that, like straight up.
Wow.
Laser beam defense, all of that.
Laser beam. Hey, I give you that laser beam defense.
You sure he's not Flash?
Nah, he ain't that goddamn fast. But he played some real good. He played some good ass defense though.
He stole the ball and took off down the court. Alley-oop to Giannis. That was a hell of a play.
So somebody agree with Rob D's though. Yeah, in that sense, yeah, you're right. Giannis would be Superman. Came off that injury. They couldn't win without him, but they couldn't win without Middleton as well. So yeah.
It's another great question.
Rob was on point. Yep.
All right. So next question is, since we're talking about the players and we're talking about Giannis, I want to know from the panel here. I'm gonna go back to you, Bang. Why does the 10-second rule for free throws only apply to Giannis, it seems?
I don't think it only applies to him, but he probably the only person that's pushing the limit. I never seen somebody take so damn long to shoot a free throw, and that's
really okay.
And I mean, I don't know if it is somebody name. I mean, it would make sense if bro was shooting like a good 90-some%. You know what I'm saying? That he just really need to concentrate. But he ain't 90%. You know, he might as well throw it up there like Robin was doing on the Bulls. You know, just throw it up there, bro. Why you got us waiting for this 60%? You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But I will say, but the man is great. If they change the rule from 10 to 8, you know what I'm saying, that will make Giannis great, you know, because you only change the rules for somebody that's great. They did the same thing to Shaq, and he just standing under the rim, and they put that little line under the rim. Now you only got that 3 in the key. They did that for Shaq, I believe. So they changed for Giannis, let you know what I'm saying, that the man is great. They trying to slow him down a little bit.
All right, good question. Good question. Good point. All right, so I want to go next to Gavin. I want to say, you know, me being a kid from the 90s, watching a lot of these players, you know, I seen, you know, who was it? Lonzo Mourning with the wipe of the brow. You had what Jason Kidd would do the kiss before he shoots, you know. A lot of players have their rituals that they would do prior to them shooting their free throw and whatnot. You know, so this isn't something new. It's just Giannis takes his little time doing his little practice shot before he shoots his free throw. But I've seen now grade school, I've seen high school, AAU, I've seen college. I've never seen the 10-second call ever called until this season, seeing the pros with Giannis. Do you feel like this is just for Giannis, Gavin?
No, he's just the only one that's anywhere close to it. And and talking about your rituals, I think back to Jeff Hornacek on the Jazz, where he'd wipe the side of his face.
Yeah.
And he always said, I wiped the side of my face to say hi to my family. And that's what I did in high school. I wiped the side of my face. So I guess I know I got some family watching out there, so I'm wiping the side of my face to say hey to my family tonight. But you know, nice. Giannis is the only one close to 10 seconds.
Okay.
And I gotta agree with Bang. Like I think that if whoever his coach is teaching him how to shoot free throws, if he could get in a better rhythm, he doesn't need all the dribbles, all the fake shots. If he could just put it up there, he would do better. But it's hard to argue with 17 of 19 in the game that mattered the most. And 17 of 19 is literally what won Game 6. So, like,
true that.
At the same time, I agree that, like, he's got to change something. It's hard to argue with the result of Game 6. Like, I'm not gonna burn him too much there.
Yeah, I mean, Shaq Diesel used to always say, you know, he would get chastised about his free throw shooting as well, and he'd always say, "I make them when I need to. I make them when they count, when they matter." You know,
that's true. So, he did.
You know,
he did.
When Giannis say much of the same, he made it when they had to. You know, I wanted to point out and ask Rob Dees, do you feel some type of way that it was actually Milwaukee's very own Caron Butler that pointed it out to the referees to get this started, where everybody started doing the counting, and we saw the man and the Suns counting his hundreds and whatnot, and I felt like he might get robbed after the game, but you know, what have you. But despite all that, you know, you feel like some type of way that it was Caron Butler that really pointed it out to the referees to get this all started?
I mean, I can't really, you know, I mean, Caron from Racine, man, you can't really, you know, you can't really hold him too accountable for it. He an OG, so he got the right to point it out, you know what I mean? Okay. But what I will say is this, and this is the only other thing I want to add to this whole conversation. It ain't so much the fact that Giannis take forever with the process. The thing that's bogus is that he holds the referee, so he be like, hold on, don't throw me the ball yet. And then he gets an extra, you know, 6 seconds just to do that. So it's like a warm up, you know what I mean? Like he get an extra 6 seconds. So of course people gonna be counting that, you know, counting that out. So I think that's the biggest thing to take note of. But at the same time, if the ref ain't like, man, screw that, you take this ball and you shoot, then how can you be mad at Giannis for taking his time? Because it's ultimately the ref's call to keep the movement of the game going, right?
True. So let me ask you, how different is that than, you know, players who want to dap everybody up in between free throw shots?
Like I said, if you the referee, you can stop the dap. You can do all that. You can step right in the middle of it. You can start handing out technicals. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not putting it solely on the shoulders of the referees because Giannis do take his sweet time. But at the same time, if they controlling the game, then they could be like, hold on, dog, hurry up, man. Take the ball, go. So like I said, at the same time, how can you blame that man?
Now he right though, because they could say as soon as you step to the line, the ref has the right to pass you the basketball, and you don't have the right to tell the ref, no, don't give it to me. So right. he right. The refs is giving them that extra 6 seconds, and they don't have to.
Okay, fair enough. All right, so Gavin, I want to go back to you, and I want to ask. So much was said about the atmosphere of the Milwaukee area, and I believe it was Stephen A. that said that he believes that for Milwaukee to be in the finals, that was just terrible because Milwaukee's, as he says, a terrible city to hold the NBA championship. Do you believe, Gavin, in your opinion, being from the state of Wisconsin, that Milwaukee is a terrible city to hold the NBA championship?
Being from central Wisconsin, living in Madison for a lot of my life, I wish that I've lived in Milwaukee some of my life. Like, I love visiting Milwaukee, and I don't even care what Stephen A. Smith says because there was 65,000 reasons standing outside during Game 6 of why Milwaukee's not a terrible city. 65,000 people showed up that didn't have tickets to be outside and cheer on the Bucks to the first championship in 50 years. Like, as someone from Wisconsin, I wish that I had some years in Milwaukee. I wish that I had that experience. So,
okay, fair enough. And I want to go next to you, Rob. I want to ask, along with what Gavin just said, is it good for the Milwaukee Bucks and the NBA to have more of their fans outside of the Deer District than in their arena as a business?
I'll say it like this, man. For example, as someone who's been a lifelong Bucks fan, that don't necessarily got that amount of money to be like, yo, I'm going in the finals, I'm going in the game, I'm about to drop this 500 and be like, woo. Like, for me, the Deer District is a great thing that builds community, in my opinion, because you got people that can't necessarily get in but want to be supportive. So why not have them right there? You know what I'm saying? Like, you building that sense of community right there. I went to Game 4 Deer District, and I'm gonna tell you like this, man. I spoke to more people that was like, hey, man, Bucks and 6 and be gone. Like, we might not even come from the same cloth of life, but at the same time, just that alone speaks volumes for the amount of community that's built. Same thing like, all the other Wisconsin sports teams. No matter what views or background you have, when it come down to sports, it's kind of like this common ground. We all in it together. So as far as the Deer District, I think that pretty much showed that togetherness, man, like that community sense. The community is like, yo, man, we got your back. We might not be able to afford these tickets, but we down with you. So I dig it personally.
Yeah, I mean, I feel that when we know Wisconsin sports, if you ever been to a Brewer game, that tailgating is probably some of the best part of even going to the game is the tailgating. Right. If you go to a Packer game, we know the community around the Packer arena and how that is and how lit it is just to be able to be out there. It's like no other. Many people come from other places. They see it and they like, man, it's nothing like they've ever encountered. So we definitely know what that is. But Bang, I want to ask you the same question though, because we look at some other arenas. Like, I know Golden State Warriors kind of talked about it, where how a lot of their ticket pricing now, because they have to pay for the arenas and whatnot, that they had to raise it so high that a lot of the owners see it where they have to have the ticket prices high to pay their bills and whatnot. Right. But then the people of Oakland, who are the true fans, are able to really attend. So they can't flip that ticket price. So I want to know from you, do you feel like it's a better option for the Bucks or the NBA that we know is a business and wants to make as much profit and much dollars as they can to have more people outside of your venue than inside of your venue when it comes to the arena.
All right. Before I answer that question, I want to answer the last question. As far as this Milwaukee is a bad city to have the NBA championship.
Yeah,
and I'm gonna and I want to go back to that because I want to say no, but as far as Wisconsin cities, a bad city in Wisconsin to have the NBA championship is probably Portage, Wisconsin. But I'm gonna answer the new question.
Put Portage on
and I would say, yeah, if it was in Portage, like that'd be fucked up. But
shout out to Portage.
To answer the new question, there's a new question as far as business. I feel like now that they know 60-some thousand people will be outside of that stadium, you know what I'm saying? They can make money off that. You know what I mean? They could charge $50 per person. You know, it ain't got to be that much. You know what I'm saying? Just to watch the game outside, bam, $50. I mean, people will pay that. You know what I'm saying? They probably have some outside bars. You know what I'm saying? Probably some merch and stuff like that. So they could find a way to make a little bread off that. But I think that it was good that they did that for the free, just so they could see how many people is going to actually support it, how many people is going to come out there. Now that they see 60-some thousand down there 70, yeah, we can make a little bit something off of them. You know what I'm saying? So don't be surprised next season. It'd probably be like $10, $20. You know what I'm saying? 60-some thousand people times $20. You know, that's still a lot of bread. So they might do that.
Rob, do you feel like if it was not free, people wouldn't come out like that?
I think the biggest thing is access. And if you provide proper access at a reasonable cost, it could be something beautiful for the city. For example, you know, you ain't even got to charge 50. You charge $10, and all proceeds go towards whatever community center or whatever, you know, for per game. You set it up that way, and you reinvest in the community. So that's why I say that sense of community would make it worth the you dig. And to get to that terrible city comment, man.
Okay, let's hear it.
What it really is, man, what it boiled down to is that Milwaukee ain't a pretty city. It ain't New York. It ain't LA. It ain't Chicago. You know what I'm saying? It's a small market city. And therefore, to a big city person like a Stephen A. Smith, of course it's not pretty. But for us, you know, that's from here, you know, it is what it is, and we take it and we ride with it. It's a badge of honor. Midwest is gritty anyway. So of course it's gonna be terrible to somebody that's used to wearing Saks Fifth Ave, you know, stuff. They don't come to work in cardigans, you know. I mean, and not in Carhartts. I mean, you know what I'm saying? They don't do that. So I you know, it all depends on who's saying it's a terrible city, I guess.
Yeah,
I mean, I get that. I still don't understand why he would say it's a terrible city. Milwaukee is not terrible to me. I mean, Chicago is probably more terrible. It's the murder cap. You know what I'm saying? I don't see nothing wrong with Milwaukee other than it's a small city. But what's terrible about it?
Milwaukee and Chicago. I love them both. But
that's what makes it terrible. It ain't, like I said, it ain't that pretty city. It ain't, you know. That's like if the Pittsburgh Steelers win the NFL, you know, it ain't the Raiders or somebody that's well known. It's somebody that's from, you know, an off-brand city. But do that mean we less capable of holding it down? Obviously, we won the championship, so it really don't matter what you think about the city.
That's the thing, though. The NFL celebrates that, right? The NFL celebrates its Pittsburghs. The NFL celebrates those things, and the NBA needs to celebrate the non-glitz and glamour cities like Milwaukee too. So that might be on the NBA a little bit.
True.
And can I just chime in one thing? Like, for example, San Antonio. San Antonio wasn't no pretty team, and they was dominating, but yet and still they didn't never really get the plug because they wasn't a bona fide pretty city. But they was winning.
True. Like PJ Tucker said, they didn't know we had dogs out here.
We dogs.
We got dogs. Like you said.
I know, right?
Respect to PJ Tucker. That's my dog. All right. So speaking of other players on the Bucks, I want to know, you know, so much was talked about the new players that we got, like PJ Tucker. But, you know, for instance, Drew Holiday was one of those players that we picked up this season. I want to know from the panel. I'm gonna start with you, Bang. Is Drew Holiday really a better point guard than Eric Bledsoe?
He definitely was for this finals. I'm gonna say that. And as far as career wise, Drew Holiday numbers are better. It's not like Drew Holiday is like a superstar, So if I had to pick one, then yeah, I go with Drew Holiday. He did a great job in the finals. You know what I'm saying? You can't replace with Bledsoe, to me, in my opinion. He did a great job defensively. He came through. You know what I mean? He was one of the reasons why the Bucks won that final. So then you gotta give him his props for that.
Okay, like Mr. Cheddar said, shout out to Pat Connaughton. All right, Gavin, want to know from you the same question. What he said, Pat Connaughton is the Hulk. Who can't Hulk up? All right, shout out to you, Mr. Cheddar State. All right, so Gavin, I want to know from you the same question, because a lot was said about Holiday in this playoffs. Even Charles Barkley kind of mentioned it. He said, he kind of goes to sleep sometimes. And he says, why don't you play great every game? And he really couldn't answer that. But I want to know from you, is he really that much better of a replacement than Eric Bledsoe?
Oh, man, hands down. So you might not remember, but I sat here in September after the bubble, and Mizzle asked me, he said, what moves do we need to make to win the championship? And I sat here and said, Drew Holiday is the guy we got to trade for. So, like, I'm going to tout myself a little bit. I said it.
Rewind the tape. Yep, you said it.
Yeah, bring it back. I said it. But like, we're talking, if we look at playoff stats, 6 points better, something like 3 rebounds better a game. We're talking 3 assists better a game and a half a steal better a game during the playoffs. I'm not a Bledsoe hater. I like Drew Bledsoe, but Holiday is the guy here. Did he have his off games during the playoffs? As we're talking about, Barkley said he needs to bring it every minute. Yeah, he had his off games, but he's not Chris Paul. Like, Drew Holiday is the guy we need, and his numbers in the playoffs, like, it far and away exceed what Bledsoe's ever done in the playoffs. So,
okay, Rob, can we get some of your comments on Mr. Holiday?
I'm gonna make it real short and sweet. A subpar Drew Holiday is still better than an excellent Eric Bledsoe. Mm-hmm. I'm just being honest. Even because really, like, what's the intangibles that like Bang was talking about earlier, like putting that press on Chris Paul all the way up the court. There will be times where Eric Bledsoe would fall completely off the face as far as effort because he would get shell shocked. I think now if we're gonna say there's a similarity, it would be that lackadaisicalness. But the benefit that I give Drew over Bledsoe is the fact that he finds other ways to make it up if certain points of his game are off. Like, for example, if his scoring ain't on, he'll figure out a way to get more rebounds and push the tempo. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? He'll get more assists. Like Game 6, he was one. I think he was one rebound short of a triple double. Mm-hmm. Like I don't see Eric Bledsoe in that scenario getting anywhere close to a triple double. I'm just saying. So for me, I mean, I think the Drew Bledsoe pickup set the tone for what is, if we go back to the first question, what is his destiny? Because he became that fearless point guard, and I'm not, and there's no knock against Eric Bledsoe, but he wasn't as fearless, I guess.
He wasn't that guy, huh? Okay. He wouldn't get that steal and throw that lob.
Yeah, I'm with Rob. I'm with Rob, man.
All right. So the next question is something that a lot of these commentators have kind of been talking about, and it's the whole scenario of the Milwaukee Bucks being a small market team and whatnot, and building around their superstar and not building the monsters, these super teams that you start to see around the league. And the question, I'm going to go back to you, Rob. is, did the Bucks and the Suns prove that it's not about building super teams to win titles?
I think so, and I think that and me being an older head in this conversation, I think that, like, for example, you saw a shift in the '80s from the Bird and the Dr. J and the Jordan teams to you started seeing more individual superstars, and that's even to this modern day. You've seen a lot of individual superstars and super teams. That's what led to the super teams, because you would have one dude by himself that was a superstar, and he needed a couple other people. I think both Milwaukee and Phoenix both prove that it's about a well-balanced team. It takes teamwork to make the dream work. And I think that you saw that, you know what I'm saying, consistently. Like, even on Phoenix, you've seen dudes like Mikal Bridges showing up. The dude that dunked on PJ Johnson from North Carolina. Like,
right.
And even on our team, like, through the playoff run, like I brought up Brent Forbes earlier. Same way with Bobby Portis. Same way with, even in my not loving Pat Connaughton had moments. You know,
he sure did. He stepped it up.
Right. I mean, especially considering the fact that one thing we still ain't talked about is the fact that Dante DiVincenzo went down, which was a key piece to our squad, and we had other people step up and fill in. So I think
black name.
Right. I think that it did prove that teamwork is probably the best remedy to win a championship. So.
Got you. All right. So, Gavin, want to know that same question from you. A lot was said about these Suns who nobody saw coming out the West. We saw the Lakers, maybe we saw the Clippers, so many of these other teams. But, we didn't see the Suns coming out of the West. They didn't even want to give them MVP this year. They gave it to my man out of Denver. But shout out to Joker. He had a fabulous season. And the same thing with the Bucks. Nobody saw them getting past the Nets. Let's just be honest. So my question to you is, are we seeing that both teams are really proving that you don't need them to have these super teams to win titles?
I think the Bucks proved it. Obviously, they won it. I don't think the Suns are far behind. I wouldn't say that they proved it. I equate the Suns season a lot to like the NFL, like Kansas City. So they got young guys on early contracts that aren't very expensive, and they were able to go out and get Chris Paul. So I think the Suns proved kind of that, what I would call the new NFL paradigm, is you got young guys. Much like Kansas City with Patrick Mahomes. When he's young, they went out and were able to spend money elsewhere. So I think the Suns kind of proved that as almost a third paradigm, where the Bucks gave Giannis a lot of money, they gave Middleton a lot of money, they gave Holiday a lot of money. The Suns have Booker and Ayton on those early contracts, and we're able to go out and get Chris Paul to kind of make that piece. So I think that there's almost three ways that have been proven: super team, bring up your guys, and then get those young guys and add that final piece through free agency or trade, like the Suns did.
Okay. All right. So, Bang, I want to ask you a different question. I want to ask, what move should the Bucks make to win the championship again next season?
None.
Okay.
I'm gonna leave it like that. None. Because you know what? A lot of people they hating on them because of the injuries and stuff like that. And that's why we had the flu question. So you know what? They got the opportunity to repeat with the same players. Do it again. Prove them wrong. Show them that you earned it. Show them that you deserve that ring, and show them that you're going to deserve and earn the next ring. Keep the same players. You ain't got to do nothing different. But just keep being dogs. You can do that. Keep being dogs and show them you're a dog. Right. And repeat. Do that. That's how I feel.
Okay. Gavin, here you get the chance to make your money again. You were so good, hit on the money last time about Drew Holiday. What moves do we have to make to maintain for next year to be able to win the championship again?
I'm with Bang. I'm not going to say nothing, but I know we have some haters in the comments right now, but all we got to do, like, we don't have to do any moves. Dante is coming back. And let's be real. Dante is an upgrade over Jeff Teague. Jeff Teague's 33. He was a guy that we brought on the team in the middle of the season. Dante is going to be an upgrade right there. If I had any move to say, is like Lopez is also getting an aging star. Like, we need to groom someone behind Lopez. Portis is there, but we need a big like Lopez that can stretch the court and learn under Lopez and Portis to stretch the court, but bang inside too. So if I had to pick anything, Dante's coming back, but kind of that Lopez prodigy coming up behind him.
Okay. So much was said, Rob, of the bench players who nobody even knew who they were during the celebration. They called themselves the trenches. And many of those players, we were like, who? But they all got rings. And Charles Barkley and Malone, they don't have rings. So it's kind of wild to see. But what moves do we have to make? Do we got to maybe ditch some of those players? Or what moves do we got to do to get to the next season and win that ring again?
Okay. So I'm gonna open the comment like this. If you're talking about a dynasty, you're talking about what, at least 2 or 3 in a row, right?
Yeah.
So really, we talking about those windows for, say, for example, PJ and Lopez. They got a good 2 to 3 year window before it's a wrap. We already saw PJ kind of slowing down. As far as the squad, for me, after the starting 5 and maybe Pat, it feels like we got a lot of DJ Wilson type dudes, which means like we can get rid of. I mean, like I'm outside of Thanasis, because we not getting rid of him. Everybody else on the bench can be interchangeable. Like we can, because now you got to think people gonna want to come to Milwaukee now. We don't want a championship, so now they gonna want to rock with us. So we can get that upgrade of that Jeff Teague player. We can get that upgrade.
Lonzo Ball.
Hey, nah, I ain't really nah, bro. I can't. LaMelo maybe, but nah, but like I said, I think everybody is pretty expendable. Like, cats like Sam Merrill and Jackson that were nice when they got garbage minutes, or Diakate, but it's like it's gonna be people that's gonna want to come, and we can get rid of some of that young energy and really bring in some people for the next couple of years. And I think that's really the key is we can only look at a 3-year window. Most dynasties don't go that far. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I definitely think the Bucks can be in contention to win it again because our confidence is going to go through the roof. Like, we already done beat Jersey. We ain't really worried about that super team. You know what I mean? So I think anything after 6, after the 6 man is up for grabs and can be interchangeable.
Okay, fair enough. Shout out to somebody said LeBron is loading up, trying to get 2 more All-Stars on the squad face the Bucks.
Come on,
wait a minute. Why Dan double dipping Kevin Durant on the Twitter handle, switching up?
Hey, give me one here, Mizzle.
Let's hear it, Gavin.
Let's talk about Jordan Nora.
Okay.
Rookie this last year.
Right.
Like, if we're talking about anyone that's going to be coming off the bench playing for the Olympics, for Nigeria in the Olympics,
yes, he is.
He's butter. Like, if we got anyone coming up through the roster, I agree with Rob. Like, people are going to want to come, but if we got anyone coming up, he's the guy. He's got a 3-point shot. He's a big dude. Like, those are the kind of guys we need to fill the roster with. So I'm excited about him.
And I believe I did see a certain player that's on the Indianapolis team that was a former Bucks player that may be a free agent coming into this summer. So who knows?
Man, can you imagine that Brogdon coming back now?
That could be interesting.
That could be insane.
Yeah. So, okay. Next question I want to ask is, should Middleton and Holiday we're talking about the Olympics then. Should Middleton and Holiday play in the Olympics after that championship season, in your opinion? I'm going to go back to you then, Gavin.
Oh, yeah. They've got every right to chase that dream. I think it's a dream of a lot of kids across all kinds of sports to represent their country in the Olympics. Is it going to be hard for them coming off no rest? Yeah, but I don't think that any of us have a right to say that they don't deserve to go out there and represent at the international level. So yeah, they've got the right, and I appreciate that they are putting their effort into that.
Okay.
As we saw Holiday the other day, or yesterday, even though USA lost, Holiday put on a clinic. So
he was balling. He sure was. Rob, I want to ask you that same question, but I want to ask, we know the start of next season is right around the corner, actually, being that this summer squeaked all the way here now into July. We know that if they were to start again in October, it's right around the corner, for the preseason and all the conditioning stuff they start into the season. Soon as they get off the Olympics, they're going to be basically into the next season. So my question to you is, should they be playing in the Olympics after that championship season, or should they be just getting ready for next season?
I mean, I feel like this. I kind of agree with Gad. It's totally your choice. If that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. And I guess to further expound on it, there's a phrase that says, "Heavy is the head that wears the crown." You know what I'm saying? So you on point. You show up. You show up no matter what. I mean, look at the way Drew came in. Like you said, Gav. Drew dropped 18 just getting off the plane. Just getting off the plane, coming straight from Milwaukee to Tokyo, come in and drop 18. I mean, so I mean, it is what it is, man. I think that people people take care of themselves. This is their sport. This is their career. So what your body can and what your body can't do. And if you choose to rock with it, I love it. So yeah, I'm down.
Okay. I agree with y'all with that. It just it's going to be so tough for them to get right back into the season after playing in the Olympics and not really having any of that true rest that some of the other guys might be soaking up during this point that they didn't have to play in the championship season. But I want to ask the final question here to Bang. I want to ask, so much has been talked about these players, and we want to talk about Giannis in particular. They're crowning this man now with this one championship that he has now, as we spoke about program long. Do you believe that Giannis now has took the crown and he is now a top 5 player in the NBA?
I don't know. But you know what? I'll say he earned the right to be in the conversation. He earned the right to be in the conversation. I'm not mad if somebody say yes. I'm not mad if somebody say no. But he has earned the right to be in that conversation. What he has done in the playoffs, what he did in the finals, coming off that injury, still dropping 50. He definitely deserves to be in that conversation.
Okay, let me ask you a different way then. Would LeBron be in your top 5?
Yeah, I put Bron in.
Would Kevin Durant be in your top 5?
Think you got to put KD in top 5.
Would Steph Curry be in your top 5?
Got to put Steph Curry in top 5.
Would Kawhi Leonard be in your top 5?
I wouldn't be mad if somebody put him there.
Okay. And would James Harden be in your top 5?
James Harden, man, people be hating on Harden, man. I've been fucking with Harden ever since the Thunder, man. You know what I'm saying? Stop hating on Harden, man.
Don't be in a ring if you ain't got no ring.
Yeah,
man, stop hating on Harden, man.
Don't be in a ring if you ain't got that ring.
Man, you talking about super teams? That was a super team. I was mad at that organization. They gonna let Harden go, man. That pissed me off. bro coming off the bench scoring 20, 30. That was the super team. But so now, if you want to say, would you pick Giannis over Harden or Kawhi Leonard?
Or any of the people I just named?
I wouldn't be mad if you said yeah. I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't be mad if you said yeah.
You ain't gonna say
I
yeah?
could. I mean,
What would you
know
say?
what? But you know what? He could take the 5 spot. He could take the 5 spot.
Okay.
I'll put him on the 5 spot.
All right, that's what I was
I'll
trying to
put him
get.
on the 5.
All right. Gavin, do you believe that Giannis is a top 5 player at this point in time?
I think there's only 2 players that you could even argue to be ahead of him, and it's LeBron and KD. And KD can't do it without a super team. And Giannis did.
He didn't say that.
Well, KD steps on the line. KD can't win it alone, and he never will. He will never win it without a super team, and Giannis just proved that he can win it without a super team.
Hold on.
He's top 5. He's top 3.
Hold on.
The facts are there.
I'm gonna take it back to the Thunder because they should have won that championship, and it wasn't KD's fault. It was the coach's fault. The coach was garbage. The coach was trash, fucking garbage. The Thunder should have won a championship when it was KD. When they had Harden coming off the bench and homie on the point guard. I can't think of fucking name. Russell Westbrook. That was the squad right there. That was not KD's fault.
Yep.
It wasn't his fault.
Never won one. Harden's never won one, and KD can only win it with Curry. So,
oh my God!
Facts are the facts.
I can't believe I'm hearing this. So does that mean that he ain't the top players? What about players that didn't win a championship like Allen Iverson? You know what I'm saying? Is he trash? He ain't win a championship?
Yeah, if you want to roll it back to 2001, the refs gave it to Allen. That's all right. He couldn't get it done after the refs gave it to him against the Big Three. So
whoa.
Now, if you want to talk about Batman, Allen Iverson is probably the only real Batman because he did it with nobody else on that team but Mutombo. Name some other players on that team.
A whole show on this.
Yeah, this seemed like a whole nother episode. All right, so we're gonna break this up. I'm gonna go to you, Rob. I give you the final comment here. I want to know from you: is Giannis a top 5 player in the NBA at this point?
At this point, I'm going to say yes. Where he is in that top 5 is to be determined.
Okay.
But because he has officially won a championship, and has been a multiple MVP of the league, has been a defensive player in the league, like you can't really deny his superstardom. I mean, like
greatness.
There are other cats that we can obviously say deserve to be in that conversation. I mean, but like without a championship, they don't break the top 5. When you got cats like Trae Young, you got cats like
Embiid,
Embiid, got cats like whoever else you want to, you know what I'm saying? But until you get that chip, that doesn't really put you in that conversation. And if you look at it, I agree with Gav. Obviously, KD needs help to do that.
Who don't need help? Y'all steady getting on KD.
But bang, let me just say this, and I'm gonna get off the KD conversation. KD is that dude that come in a gang fight, but stand in the back and let everybody else take the blows, and then he comes in.
We know that guy. We do know that guy.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's what it is.
He in every game, so he don't have to fight.
But he had to be a little bit more killer in Brooklyn now, so he's done his part. But as far as doing it, if he win in Brooklyn, well, I can't even say Brooklyn because he got Kawhi and he got Harden. But to answer the question, yes, Giannis deserves to be in that top 5. Where he is in that top 5 is to be determined. I mean, you got a declining Steph, you got a questionable Kawhi, and outside of LeBron and KD, which really is interchangeable right now because LeBron ain't, LeBron legs starting to get a little old too. So, and I think with Giannis is he has an upcline still in his career. He's only 26.
He's the future. He's the
right.
Future.
So he got another solid 5 to 7 year window, and he's in
those free throws.
4.
I didn't even mention Anthony Davis either, but he could be in the conversation as well.
Could be.
So basically, what we're saying with Bucks having Giannis on the team, They have a bright future ahead of them. We don't know if they're going to win it next year. We hope they do. We know they don't have the draft picks because they gave them away. But regardless what it is, they were down 2 twice in the playoffs, and both times, Bucks and 6.
Regardless what it is, Bucks and 6.
Bucks and 6. So that's what we're talking here today, people. And we appreciate everybody that tuned in today. All the Bucks fans out there from Milwaukee, across Wisconsin, across the U.S. We appreciate you for listening in. I'm your boy, Mizzle, Jizzle. You've been listening to Radio 22, Talk 22. I can't even spit out. I'm so excited. And till next time, y'all. Peace.
Bucks and 6.
Bucks and 6.